You know, Cadillac lost me in the 70s and 80s. They lost me because they lost themselves. They lost their own sense of direction. But this car is the first car that's excited me from Cadillac in years, probably decades. And the reason is they've changed their whole ideology of engineering to build this automobile. Let me show you some examples. The ATS is available with 3 different engines, 2 4-cylinders and a V6, and all of them have direct injection, variable valve timing, and dual overhead camshafts. The base engine is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with 202 horsepower, but things start to get interesting when you get the 2-liter turbocharged 272 horsepower engine that's available with a 6-speed manual transmission. This is the ATS with the 3.6-liter V6, and that engine is becoming the Cadillac corporate engine. It's available in every Cadillac except the Escalade, but in the ATS it has 15 more horsepower than the rest of the line. The front brakes have 12-inch vented rotors, 4-pot Brembo brake calipers, and are mounted to a multi-link front suspension with a McPherson strut. But the exciting news is it has magnetic ride control. Magnetic ride control is a shock absorber filled with hydrocarbon oil, ground iron particles, an electric coil, and a piston. When the electric coil receives a signal from the computer, it magnetizes the iron particles, forming resistance against the piston trying to pass through. Here's something new for Cadillac. They're using ZF electronic power steering rack and pinions. Now, ZF is the benchmark in high-end European gear drives. They make transmissions, differentials, steering boxes. And previously, Cadillac used Saginaw, but now this is indicative of the new direction that Cadillac is moving in. You know, Cadillac's slogan used to be the standard of the world, and they lost that from the 1970s on up. And while I can't say that this is the new standard of the world, I can say that I believe that this is the new standard of the segment. I'm looking at the subframe under here. It's a beautiful piece of engineering and design. Forged aluminum, welded together with fantastic welds all the way around. And all the contact points are machined and highly polished. And you don't see that either on other expensive cars. Now it swings around and goes to both sides of the frame and is joined together with this piece of minimalist engineering. It's a piece of extruded aluminum tubing. And then the subframe comes back here and is mounted to the chassis with these mounts that are designed for lightweight and strength. And they have a sort of a triangulated trestle look to the profile of them. And they not only hold the subframe to the chassis, but they support these 2 beautiful motor mounts that are made of magnesium. The name of the game was to build a lightweight automobile. This car weighs 3,400 pounds. And one of the ways they saved weight was in the design and the build of the rear subframe and suspension. The subframe is made of steel, but it's lightweight in construction, as is the multi-link rear suspension. The links themselves are lightweight with holes going all the way up their length. They look like elongated Swiss cheese. And if you remove this plastic cover off the lower control arm, you'll see the same treatment in the control arm. Now the drive shaft is connected with the rubber-style viscous joints that the Germans have used for decades. And that goes into a cast iron differential housing with an 8.5-inch differential carrier. And that's exclusive to the V6. The rest of the line gets a 1-inch smaller differential carrier. Now, this is the first time that I've seen this much European engineering and design going into an American automobile.